Hello, I'm Laurent Garossi. I'm head of neurology at Davis Veterinary Specialist, and I'm going to talk to you today about epileptic seizures and epilepsy. An epileptic seizure is probably one of the most distressing neurological events a pet owner can witness. It is usually characterized by your pet suddenly collapsing on the floor, losing awareness, thrashing with his limb, losing his bowel as well as his urine, salivating a lot. Thankfully, an epileptic seizure only lasts no more than a minute or two. It usually happens out of the blue. This is what we call most commonly a grand mal seizures or generalized tonico-clonic seizures, which is the most common type of epileptic seizures in dogs. In cats, the situation is slightly different, as cats are frequently suffering from partial epileptic seizures, which tend to be less violent than they are in dogs. Underlying cause of epileptic seizures can either be found inside the brain or outside of the brain. Inside the brain is what we refer as intracranial causes, and they are broadly divided into what we call symptomatic epilepsy or what we call idiopathic epilepsy. Symptomatic epilepsy implies that there is a disease that can be identified in the brain, and this disease could range from tumor, infection, inflammation, potentially a stroke or a malformed brain. But in that case, there is a disease that we can find, and this disease manifests by an epileptic seizures and potentially other neurological signs. Idiopathic epilepsy is the second intracranial cause and is the most common cause of seizures in cat, dog, and human. In that case, there is no structural disease in the brain, but idiopathic epilepsy refers to a functional disorder. In more simple terms, a chemical imbalance or an abnormal wiring in the brain, making a cat and a dog prone to have epileptic seizures. Extracranial causes or disease found outside of the brain refer to either blood disturbance or intoxication. With blood disturbance, one of the organs in the body, frequently the kidney or the liver or potentially a low sugar level, are the underlying cause of the epileptic seizures. The brain relies on a permanent supply of blood to function. If there is something abnormal in the blood, one of the consequences could be an epileptic seizures. So in that case, we usually talk about reactive epileptic seizures when we describe these metabolic causes. Finally, the last cause of epileptic seizures are intoxication, and there are a wide range of toxins that could manifest by epileptic seizures, but usually other signs, vomiting, diarrhea, as well as tremor. Idiopathic epilepsy is the most common cause of epileptic seizures in dogs. If you have a dog with idiopathic epilepsy, he is usually born with that condition and usually will live with that condition for the rest of his life. It is exceptional to die of an epileptic seizures. However, even if the dog is born with idiopathic epilepsy, most dogs only start seizuring when they are between 6 months and 6 years of age. Therefore, if you have a dog within that age range that starts to have epileptic seizures, and even more if it's one of the breed predisposed to idiopathic epilepsy, Border Collie, Labrador Retriever, Golden Retriever, to name a few, you are more likely to have idiopathic epilepsy than an underlying cause. The reverse will be that if you are outside of his age range, less than 6 months of age, more than 6 years of age, you are more likely to have an underlying cause for the seizures than idiopathic epilepsy. The diagnosis of idiopathic epilepsy can be made in two different ways. From a clinical ground, if you are a breed predisposed to idiopathic epilepsy, and if you start having epileptic fit between the age of 6 months to 6 years, then the balance of probability is that you are likely to suffer from idiopathic epilepsy. If you are outside of this age range, you're more likely in balance to suffer from another cause for the epileptic seizures. The second way we diagnose idiopathic epilepsy is by ruling out all the other causes of epileptic seizures. And that will involve ruling out through blood tests the metabolic cause of seizures, and through more advanced diagnostic tests, MRI scan of the brain, spinal fluid test, to rule out structural underlying disease in the brain. So if you have idiopathic epilepsy, it will be normal for all these tests to come back as negative, which would imply you have idiopathic epilepsy. There are different schools of thought. One school of thought suggests to treat as soon as possible, and some veterinary neurologists may suggest to treat as early as the second epileptic seizures. The second school of thought will be to start treating when your animal is having one or more than one epileptic seizures a month. The most important thing to understand with idiopathic epilepsy is that you are usually born with idiopathic epilepsy and you're going to have to live with idiopathic epilepsy for the rest of your life. Therefore, treatment is not to cure, but to manage the condition. And it's important to set the expectation from the start. The expectations are to try your best to limit the number of epileptic seizures to an acceptable level, while at the same time reducing or trying to avoid any side effect relating to the medication. Some animals will be very lucky and on treatment do so well that they will not have any epileptic seizures, while for other dogs and cats, you will only manage to reduce the fit on medication to an acceptable level. However, the treatment should be adapted to the individual, and it's very difficult in advance to predict how well a dog or a cat will do on medication. Overall, we suspect that about 3/4 of dog and cat will respond to treatment, while 1/4, unfortunately, will not respond or will require additional medication to control the epileptic seizures. Thank you for listening, and I hope this short presentation has been useful to you.